The Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus. This is the first tablet I've come across since the Tab A8 2019, which I reviewed on this channel in early 2020. This was a Christmas gift from my wife's mother, and while I didn't get a proper hands-on experience, thought I'd share my impressions of the limited time I used it. The Tab A9 Plus features a sleek metal chassis with a matte finish. The top portion has an etched bezel where the Samsung logo and back-facing camera are located. The power and volume rockers are slightly raised rounded switches with the same finish as the body. Over on the other side you have the micro SD slot, which allows adding up to 1TB in addition to the already generous 128GB capacity that the tablet comes with. On the bottom are connector pins and docking notches if you'd like to use a keyboard cover to up your text input capabilities. On one of the narrower sides are two speakers with the USB-C connector right in the middle. And right on the corner is an oddly placed 3.5mm audio jack. Across the opposite side is an additional pair of speakers, bringing the total sound output to 1.2 watts with Dolby Atmos support. On turning on the device, you're presented with the typical setup menus. This being purchased in Ireland meant they didn't show many options for African nations. And since I wasn't the one who purchased it, I simply returned it to the start and let someone else finish the setup. The first loading took around 1.5 minutes for the tablet to fully boot up. The device uses the Samsung One UI skin on top of Android 13, which is supposed to be upgradable up to Android 15, and most reviews seem to indicate a fair amount of upgradability for the upcoming future. At first glance, I wasn't particularly blown away by the screen layout or icons and was somewhat expecting to be wowed by a pristine out-of-the-box experience. The UI does feel very responsive, however at some points the touch seems to be not registering, like in the upper corner, which you would only ever need to access the settings and might have been a one-off. The screen brightness is sufficient for bright daylight, but does seem to be capped, preventing it from going to maximum brightness. One aspect of not liking the UI or layout might be the sizing, so it was handy to find a screen zoom which can potentially prevent icons and other visuals looking like enlarged versions, like what you'd find on children's toys. Given the aspect ratio of this device, in most cases the horizontal view would yield the best experience, such as viewing videos on YouTube or Netflix, where in the vertical view the video would only extend as wide as the smaller side. The only other vertical use I can think of would be to read ebooks or web pages. Not sure how social media would ever work, as I've never tried it on a tablet device. However, the A9 Plus does offer up to 3 apps simultaneously on screen, so that could be an option to explore around this. Now bear in mind that I didn't get a proper chance to use this, and instead ran some stress tests, namely in the form of Geekbench 6 CPU and GPU tests and 3D Mark Slingshot and the wildlife tests. Mind you, only the Geekbench tests were ran while also simultaneously running the system screen recorder, which surely would have had some bearing on the tests. The Geekbench results rated the A9 Plus at 910 for single core and 1878 for multi-core. These were compared with results for high-end Samsung phones and one Xiaomi phone, all of which clearly outpacing the tablet for both single and multi-core operations. But that's not a surprise considering that at the highest end, the phones cost nearly 10 times as much as this tablet. The GPU test results were even more starker, with all models leagues above the A9 Plus, with even the lowest end, the Samsung Galaxy A5 2s 5G, soundly outperforming this tablet, even though it was released a full 2 years before the Galaxy Tab A9 Plus. 3D Mark test rates were interesting, and if I recall correctly, some of the tests weren't even possible on this device, and for whatever time constraints I had at that moment, only went ahead with 2 of the tests. The Slingshot test overall scored 4020 and places this being better than 71% of all other devices. The wildlife test scored 1205, which places this being better than 15% of all other devices. Tests aside, this tablet should be put through its regular paces, and considering that the use case for the casual tablet user, i.e. one who's not looking for doing high performance requiring productive work like editing video, 3D rendering, or gamers, and just want it for watching videos, browsing websites, or reading ebooks, this would be an ideal first purchase, particularly if you are overwhelmed with the choices out there and just want something for lightweight use. So for a high quality tablet from a well-known brand, if you're looking for great value, this would be something to go for. So there you have it. If you found this video useful, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.